Okay, welcome. Today we have Teralin Petereit,
Allegedly.
Welcome to Stories from the Dirt, where we dig in to the dirt of some stories from those who like to live life beyond the pavement. I'm your host, Avis. This is my guest, Teralin, as I already said. And so yeah, we're gonna get your secrets today.
All right.
All right. So, as I said, you're Teralin Petereit, and you are most widely known as the most winning rebel in current history, correct?
Right.
How's that feel?
Fun.
Fun?
It's fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Winning is fun.
Winning is fun.
But they say the goal is to have fun. Yeah, winning is fun.
Winning is fun.
Okay, so how many times have you done it?
7.
7.
Out of the 8. Yeah.
Okay. So you're too shy of 100% rebel.
What? Oh, have I done it 8 times then? I missed the first year. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're coming up on the 9th year.
Yeah, so I've done it.
Okay, we're bad at math.
Yeah. I've done it 7 of the 8.
Okay, all but 1 year. Well, all but 1 year. All but the first year. Yeah. Okay. And how many partners have you had?
3.
3 partners.
3 partners.
Okay. So 3 partners, but you're still the most winning rebel. So how have you placed?
So my first year I teamed up with Kaylee Miller, and she had won the inaugural year.
Okay.
And so my rookie year, her second year, we won that first time together. And then coming in my second year, we took third with a weird twist. There was a tiebreaker for first.
Oh.
So we call them the Canadians. The Canadians, Michelle and Elise, and Emmy and Rebecca tied in first. And instead of us, they tied first, and then they put us in third. So nobody technically took second.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
And then I came back with Melissa Fisher. Kaylee was having a baby, so Melissa and I teamed up. We took second that year, and then Kaylee came back, and we took first. And then is that when Kaylee was having a baby? Anyway, one of those years, Kaylee was having a baby. I think it was actually that year. Anyway, I went with Nina Barlow, and we took first our first couple years together, and this last year we came in second.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So, the obvious question is, what's your secret? How do you manage to be the most winningest rebel? Everybody wants to know.
Everyone asks me. I don't have a secret. I mean, I guess the secret is points, right?
Points.
Okay. I want to get the most points. So, that I guess that's the secret.
The secret is win.
Leave no points behind.
So, okay. What does it look like for you in the morning? Have you always been the navigator? I know you're currently primarily the navigator, but you do a little driving.
So I've always switched. With Kaylee, when I started, she was mostly the navigator, but I didn't want to do a navigation rally and not know how to navigate because that seems silly. So we would switch, but she mostly navigated. And then when I took that first year with Melissa, I became primarily the navigator because we had Melissa's car. And we did switch a couple days, but not nearly as much. And then with Nina, we planned to switch a lot more, but it turns out she gets really car sick. So she navigates a lot from the driver's side of things, though, too. Like we both dial in black diamonds, and she's just as much of a navvy as I am, I feel like. But
yeah. She's definitely good. Now, when you say dial in, are you both using your compass for that, or what do you mean by that?
Just like on the map, like I'll get us in the range. I'm like, okay, it's right in here, and we'll use this point and this feature, this crossroad, and we'll both say, we'll both take a look at the map. We'll get it oriented. We'll stand out and look and decide, where to click together. Usually on most black diamonds. So
okay, so you're both out of the car and. Or you're in the car.
If it's a challenging one, if it's something that has like a definite, like, it's really close to this crossroad and where this mountain touches down to the road or something, then sometimes I'll find a heading with my plotter, and she'll find the heading with her compass out of the car, and then we'll
Mhm.
agree, and saves time, a lot of time that way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
time is really
Yeah.
the
Yeah, if we can cut out a step of me finding it and getting out where we each take, half of that,
yeah.
then we do that way.
It takes a lot of time for the navigator to get in and out of the car.
You're holding a lot of stuff and you got to tuck it all away. And
Yeah,
yeah.
and then you've lost your place on the map
Mhm.
because you put it down and you've reverted your eyes.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So I like to say without time, there's no points. Because
Yeah.
if you run out of time, you can't chase any more points.
Yeah.
So really, I think it's a game of efficiency.
100%.
Yeah. I remember my rookie year, I kept coming in and being like, I just need to figure out how to pee less because I don't have that much time in the day. I have a nervous bladder. So if I start getting nervous, like,
There's rumor of somebody that wore a little brief practice peeing.
I heard that. That is weird.
Nina's tradition. This is one of our secrets. You see a little pee spot. She likes to try to pee on the black diamonds. So
I've heard that. And then I was like, oh, that's weird. Like people are going to see her peeing. But then I was like, but who goes over while somebody is
yeah.
peeing?
Well, and she has to get out of the car sometimes anyway.
Yeah.
So she's already out. She grabs her little wipey.
I like it. I did do that
Mhm.
once last year. I was like, this is a really hard one and people are wandering around. I was like, I'm pretty sure it's up there. Let's just roll up there and then I'm going to get out and pee while you click.
Yeah.
And I was like, and then we'll get back in and we'll move on.
Did you nail it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah. We were like very close, under 10 away
Awesome.
from that one. Yeah.
Awesome.
That was a pretty good one. One of those moments I like to celebrate.
Yeah.
All right, so we're peeing on the black diamonds. We're just getting all of the points. Um, I like it. I like it. So you were one of my mentors.
Yes.
We lived close together. We did a whole lot of checkpoint chasing the first year, and that was just invaluable. But let's say you don't live near somebody and you need to train at home. Like, what would your recommendation be for, let's just say navigators, because we're both
Mhm.
navigators?
Practice plotting. Get some. You make up coordinates on a map that you have, an older bell map if you're rookie, on a map you got out of training. Just make up numbers and put points on to get faster at that. Because if you can have all your checkpoints plotted in the morning and you're not out there trying to plot more points during the day, that's huge. And then, like you did, you got maps for your local area. Was it CalTopo? She got me
My
maps.
mytopo.com is what I
MyTopo.
use. Nina
Yeah.
uses CalTopo.
Okay. Yeah, get maps for your local area. Uh, find features that you can put checkpoints at, and then try to go find them and use your phone to see how close you are, and
Mhm.
just practice that way.
Yeah.
And then of course Rally Navigator, because enduros are worth a lot of points. Some people think like, oh, like I won't practice enduros that much, but that adds up. That's 150 points by the end of the week or more.
Yeah. It's a
So
lot. It's a
yeah.
lot.
Mm-hmm.
So my first year I had a teammate Tara and she and I we were rookies, so we didn't really know what we were good at and what we weren't good at until actually my second year, because she and I were like, we got in the car and we practiced enduros a lot. And we were just like, I didn't know it at the time, but naturally good at it. Like we
Mm-hmm.
communicated well. I mean,
Mhm.
we didn't nail every one, but it
Yeah.
was easy.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't that stressful for us. And then my second year, I had another teammate, and I was just like, the first couple times we practiced enduro, I was like, man, I have forgotten so much.
Oh
Like,
no.
what the heck is going on? And then I realized, no, we just naturally, like, we weren't as good as I was with Tara.
Like where to put the focus for each
Yes,
thing.
yes, the way that we were communicating, like, it just, and we had to change everything. Well,
Yeah.
I had to change, like, my whole approach to it.
Yeah.
So, it was a definite learning curve.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, here, we're gonna practice these enduros, it's gonna be great," and then I was like, "Okay, never mind. I've either forgotten or I don't know what's happening."
Yeah.
So, how about you? When you get different teammates,
Mm.
like, have you had to change things based on that?
For sure. Definitely communication style. Like tasks that you're kind of in charge of. It's nice to have like a broad ability for both sides, for being both teammates, being in the driver's seat or the navigator seat, for that very reason. Like if somebody's not as comfortable with something, you can step in, or if they're having a rough day, they can step in, and so definitely for each teammate, they react different under stress, when they're upset, or time management. So you kind of pick up where you can and hope they pick up where they can. Yeah.
Have you ever had like major issues with time management?
I think maybe that's where something that helps me and with my teammates is with everybody we've been, we both come in with the goal is to like get everything we can. So we're hustling every second of every day until you go to bed.
Yeah.
So I guess it's been pretty good with time management. Yeah.
I know when I came in as a rookie, I was like, so impressed with my skills with the black diamonds. Like I could nail that. Like what 10-foot circle do you want to stand
Yeah,
in? Like
I'm in it.
I can find that. And then my second year, I was like, okay, maybe instead of like spending so much time looking for this particular checkpoint, I'm okay with being in the zone of points, maybe not full points, and just getting in and getting out. So is that your like how do you balance wanting the full points versus just getting enough points and being faster?
It's where you're at for your day. Like, have you been kind of lagging behind a little bit because you spent way too much time on, there was a blue pole missing and you were like, I'm not leaving without it, and turns out it wasn't there. That stuff has happened, and so you have to say, okay, we have 10 minutes, and as close as we can get in 10 minutes. Hail Mary, Nina likes to say.
Yeah.
And we get what we get. We've got it, or we're gonna miss, our green or something down the way. So yeah, there's always that, kind of keeping a little bit of an eye on, okay, are we ahead or are we feeling slow, and do we have a long transit, and is there a challenge that that we gotta get through before we get to Glamis. All that kind of stuff.
Yeah, time management and the unknowns. Like I know last year we had a transit. And I was like, okay, we have a transit. And then when I finally actually looked at it, I was like, wow, it's a long transit. It was like once I finally really comprehended how long it was going to be, I was like, okay,
Yeah.
this is a transit.
And you don't know, are you on a 55-mile-an-hour road or 75, and like I always plan on the back road and the slow speed limit and the distance, and kind of get an idea of how long it's going to take.
Yeah, the transit into Glamis this year kind of shocked me a little bit. That the
Pure
canal
stress.
road.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh wow.
Yeah, and well, this year we weren't even on pavement. We were down a wash the whole way there.
Yeah. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Obviously just my second year, but I was like, whoa, this is not like it was last year. Things are different.
Yeah.
I heard Nina even be like, there was no Princess Day this year.
Yeah, we were kind of waiting for Princess Day.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
Yeah, like a little reset, like a little break. No, it was hard. I remember saying several times, like, this is really hard. I kept telling Emily, like, everyone's getting better, and we want everyone to do better, so you can keep making it harder. And I was like, too hard. Wait, just kidding.
Back it down one notch. One notch, please. So yeah, that's another question. So you've been in it all years but the first year. So it's been building, and this year was clearly the hardest. But do you think it's like taking a sharp turn, or is it like building gradually? And what do you think is coming next year?
I think there was a few things. I think I don't think she quite planned on it being this hard, but with weather, and I think weather changed some of her plans and areas she could use. So she kind of improvised, I think, was one factor. I could be wrong. Sorry, Emily, if I'm wrong. And I think there's so much more training. There's Rebel U's, there's the Barlow trainings. People are doing their own little, clubs, getting together and practicing. There's so many more resources than the first year or two. You could go to REI and get a little like navigation class, and there wasn't a lot available. So I think because everyone's coming so much more prepared, she can like step it up, which was what she wanted to do. But yeah, it's just, rookies are coming in way above where we were our first 3-4 years, getting on the podium. So
yeah. Yeah, the rookies are coming strong.
Yeah.
Like you said, the training is just it's
Mhm.
crazy. And then it's sort of like you said, there's endless possibilities. As much time as you're willing to put in, you can find training.
Yeah.
Especially like it's really starting to ramp up now. And um I just attended Nina's 7-day Glamis
Mhm.
training for the first time and wow.
Yeah, a lot of info.
Yeah. It's a lot.
It's
Like
like you get a whole week. It's like you get a rally before you get a rally, and now there's Rebel Trials. They're actually
mhm.
competing for a day. It's like there wasn't anything like that before. I mean, my first year coming in, Kaylee had created checkpoints. Ryan went out and put cones for us, and we had to practice like that. But if she hadn't competed before,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have known what to prepare for. I've been like, I can put a coordinate on a map, like, but to actually route plan and um, practice using features and have somebody saying, "Did you see this? And did you see that? And why'd you do it that way?" We didn't have that. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, last year my, driver was a rookie, and so we did the Rebel U
Hmm.
trials because I was like, "That's invaluable to
Hmm.
be out and see the flags and use the yellow brick."
Hmm.
Do you click the yellow brick ever?
Yeah.
I hate it. I
Yeah.
won't I will not click it. I click it maybe 3 times a year.
We almost every checkpoint, whether it's a blue flag or a green flag, whoever's side of the car it's on, put our arm out, do it that way. But if it's a black diamond, she's like, "All right, which side of the road is it on?" And I'll look,
Yeah.
your side, okay, and I'll hand it to her, and she'll do it if we don't want to get out.
No.
Yeah.
And then if I do have to click it, I was like, "How do I do it again? Did I do it right? Oh my god, check it, check it." Like, it gives me such anxiety to click the button.
I we Melissa and I had some problems with it where it wasn't clicking itself, which people have that happen like in their center console.
Mhm.
Uh, but our tracker and like two other teams were having some issues, and so since then I write down the time and my coordinate on every CP on my CP guide just to make sure. And this year, or last year, um, we I think it was CP 18 in Glamis. Was 18 the green or 19?
I'm bad at that
Anyway, it
game.
was like a precision enduro. There was 3 flags and then a green.
Oh,
And the
mhm.
one right before the green, I think it was 18. I didn't write it down because we were running out of fuel. We were stressed. I was trying to plan like what can we get to? Where can we go? Should we go charge? Because we had the hybrid.
Yeah.
So we went to the green, clicked it, and headed out. And I wrote the green down. I was like, shoot, I didn't write the one before, and we didn't get points. It was like we never clicked, and I didn't write it. And so now I'm like, did we click? I swear we clicked. And I remember we were with Lily and Alex, and um, and I was like, we're clicking first, I clicked because you kind of train around. We
Yeah.
clicked and ran, didn't even say anything, and anyway,
Nightmares.
didn't get any points. So I wonder, what were you saying? Oh, about like, did we not hold it long enough? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is kind of,
Yeah. I hate it. Like,
yeah,
I hate it.
yeah.
I already, like, you roll up to a blue or a green, like, you sure get out, click the button. Like, you're usually pretty confident you're there.
Hmm.
Um, but when we're on the blacks, I'm just like, "Oh, I don't know. I
Hmm.
don't know." Oh, I'm like, click the button, then I'm waiting with my pencil.
Yeah,
Give me the coordinates.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, and that was the precision enduro, so there was no coordinates to check against, and
Yeah.
so that's probably why I was like, man, we don't know,
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I like to write them down, and I like to write my time that I was
Hmm.
there,
Hmm.
until I start, like, falling behind. Like, if we need to be booking it, I'm just like, "Okay, we're just going on a
Hmm.
hope and a prayer.
Yeah,
We're gonna click and move because
yeah.
we don't have time for that."
Sometimes we'll click and move, and I'll say, I'll check it in a minute, and I'm like, I know it's this direction, hold on, and then she'll get started before I have a distance.
Yeah.
And then I'll check it later, and sometimes I'm like, "Oh, what if that was a wide miss? Hold on, pull over," and I'll have to.
Yeah, yeah, because you need to know where you're
Yeah,
starting from.
yeah. So,
Yeah. Um, have you ever so last year for the first time ever, I was like, I don't know where I am. And we were coming from a wide miss, um, because I did bad math. So we went to where I thought we were going,
mhm.
but I did bad math in the morning, because I converted it, and so I
Oh,
converted it wrong. So I went to my checkpoint, but not the checkpoint.
yeah, nothing was
So,
there.
yeah, we had the
Mhm,
wide miss, and that kind of frazzled me, and then what
mhm.
ended up happening is I turned my map. We were kind of in this valley with similar features all around
Yeah.
us, and I turned my map 180. And so I was magic mapping and things were
I love
lining
that.
up. And finally I was like, okay, take me to an intersection because for the first time ever, like, I don't know where I am.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to have
Ugh.
to pay for information. But because we had a wide miss,
You could click, click,
my
click.
information was free technically
Okay.
because I already
Yeah.
paid for it by my
Yeah.
mistake. But yeah, have you ever like had to pay for the information?
2019, Melissa and I were coming into Ridgecrest, and base camp is like over a hill. And Emily had said in the morning, you think you're gonna just drive right there. You can't see it. It's hard to find. Can't see where it is because you come up over the hill and it's dark. You have to cross that main highway. That's where
Yeah.
Trials was.
Mhm.
And we chased a 20-point blue, clicked a wrong blue. And for some reason, we were so frazzled, we didn't think about going to get the correct blue. Anyway, we got up on the hill and had to click for a black that we didn't know if we were anywhere close to. Well, I'd missed that and I replotted where we were, and we got into base camp 15 minutes late. It was like,
Oh.
when that stress is high, you're frazzled. It got dark, couldn't see. We were on top of a mountain, super rocky, trying to find it's OHV, so you're just trying to find any trail you can.
Yeah.
And you choose one, and it's too hard for your vehicle, and you have to back and try another and try another. We were stuck up there for so long. And then something had happened earlier in that day, and she gave everybody an extra 20 minutes for base camp, and we got base camp points. And we were like, oh,
Oh.
thank goodness. Because we had already wrong clicked the blue, missed the
Yeah.
black. Anyway.
My first year we missed a base camp by like I think it was either 4 minutes or 8 minutes after coming from
Sad.
a green that we missed.
Yeah.
So,
Sad.
I know it's always so sad. But yeah, so and then I remember too my first year, um, it was really my first time relying on myself to use topo on a map. Like I had a basic understanding, but my first year I was like, okay, it's either going to be a high spot or a low spot. Like I couldn't really differentiate
Yeah,
between
yeah.
the way that they were
Still
going.
can't.
Yo, you still can't.
And we get there, I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. No, it has the numbers.
Yeah, I
But
can't read those
yeah.
numbers. I can't.
Yeah.
My eyesight is not what
Sorry,
it used
Emily.
to be.
I know I should know how to do that.
No, and
Nina's like
so
hitting herself in the head right now.
right,
She can do
yeah,
it. I hand
she
her
could
the
do.
map and she tells me. Anyway.
Yeah, yeah. I'm getting a little bit better, but, last year for the first time, like, I looked at the map and I felt like I could really see it. Did you ever
Mhm.
have that epiphany moment? Like, you're
Uh-huh.
using the map, but now you're seeing the map.
Uh-huh. It was my second year with Nina, and I was like, I get it. I finally get it.
Yeah.
Like this makes sense. I don't have to get out and take a heading at every road now. I know right where I am. I know which way I'm turning. I know which way's north. I know where every feature is around me. I check things my whole way. Like it took years. So I'm
Yeah.
glad you got it by year 2.
Well, I mean, I'm sure there's room for improvement, but,
No, it feels good, right?
yeah.
It's like, what? This was 3D the whole time?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty amazing when you're just like, "Okay, I mean, I understand. I know what I'm looking at. Like, I
Mhm.
really know what I'm looking at."
Mhm.
Last year, we were up and there was a nice road and I didn't see the road and the road kind of went right to the green, but if you went around the mountain, the little mountain this way, it was this crazy long rough wash. Did you
Uh-huh.
guys go through the wash or take the road? You probably took the
I don't
road.
remember.
You would have remembered the wash. So it slowed us down. And when we finally got to like road we could travel on at speed,
Mhm.
I was like, we need to hustle. We're going to be late. And
Yeah.
she's like, where are we going? And I was like, that way. And she's like, how do you know? And I was like, because I know, and we don't have time
Yeah.
like for me to prove it to you.
Yeah.
You're just going to have to like drive that
Yeah.
way. That's where their green is. And she's like, okay. So we're driving, driving. And another team, like, I'm like, "Okay, they're on the side of the road. They're gonna be fine. Like, we're just gonna pass them.
Yeah.
We don't have time." And then they wave us
Oh
down,
no.
and I was like, "Oh my god, like, maybe they're hurt. Like, we're gonna have
Yeah.
to stop. Like, stop." So I roll
Yeah.
down the window, and they're like, "We're lost. Where's the green?" And I was just like, "I don't have time, but it's that way. I can't explain it. Just go that
Oh my
way."
dust.
And they're looking at their map, and they're like, "How do you know that?" And I was like, I rolled up my window, and I was like, "Okay, let's go. They're
Yeah.
not hurt."
Yeah, they're
I
not
gave them the information.
hurt.
But yeah, that was my first real like, oh yeah, like I
Yeah.
see it. I
Mhm.
see what's happening.
Yeah. I People for a long time would say like, what's your secret? What's your trick?
Yeah.
And my answer was like, I think I just hustle harder than anyone because I want it. Like you'll look at, I don't know if you can see the track logs from when Kaylee and I started. Everyone's tracks would go like doop 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 doop, and ours would go doop, U-turn, doop, U-turn, doop. Like we were lost, not lost, but off track all the time, and we still got everywhere and got our points.
Yeah.
But it wasn't because I was a great navigator. It was like it wasn't for a lack of effort. It was like it was full stress, full send all the time, trying to get there at the fastest pace we could without getting speeding penalty because we went the wrong way for so far. Like, so when that map came alive, and I was like, wow, I can just drive to the checkpoint. This is so
Yeah,
nice.
I'm still, like I said, I still have some stuff to learn, but this
Yeah.
year for the first time I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, I can tell you now, this one is up and that one is down. Now it
Uh-huh.
doesn't always happen that
Yeah.
way. Sometimes I'm still like, I don't know, it's either up or down.
It's Glamis that really gets me.
Yes.
The up or down
Yeah.
shit.
I'm like, I don't know if that's a bowl or if
Yeah.
it's on top of a knob. I was like, I don't really know.
Yeah.
Let's drive out there and
Yeah.
see what happens. Yeah.
It's the most confusing in Glamis and Dove Creek of what's up and what's down on the map. The
Yes.
rest, like big mountains and big whatever, it's easy. But yeah.
Although I still get like, you're looking out there and you're like, there's a lump. Is that big enough to be on the map? Is it not on the map? Like that still
Mhm.
gets me sometimes.
And are we on a 50 scale or 100,000 scale? And how far is that on this scale? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, so you have no secret but hustle.
So I hear a lot of even some of the, top placing teams. I'll hear them in the morning where, we sit together, we plot, and I'll hear them planning ahead of time of which ones they're skipping. And it blows my mind. They're like, well, if we skip this, this blue or this whatever, this black diamond or whatever, we'll have more time and there's higher points at the end of the day, which I get you don't want to miss the end of the day, but I never plan to purposefully miss points ever. Like someone else can get those points, I have to get them. Well, if they get them and I don't, then
Yeah.
that's the whole game.
Yeah.
So it's points. Like
Yeah.
if you're getting close to the end of the day and you're short on time, like we talked about, and you have to skip one to be on time, skip it then. But don't. I don't know. That's my method. So.
Yeah. Well, having already said, you were one of my main mentors because we live so close. I went into my rookie year and I was like, yeah, I can nail black diamonds. So there's no reason for us to skip anything. And then I realized we started having major, really time crunches. And so then I was like, okay, well, while I can find them together as a team, we're not fast enough to go everywhere. I remember saying to Emily, I was like, can you physically drive to all of them in the time? Like, if you know where they are, is it possible to drive the whole course in the amount of time? And she's like, yes. And I was like, are you sure? Because I don't know that I believe that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like the more time
Yeah.
goes on. But yeah, my first year, there were days we were like, okay, no black diamonds for the first half of the day.
Because you had to use your time.
Yeah.
But once the map's alive and you can drive to them,
yeah.
why skip on purpose? That's my.
Yeah. I plot everything.
Yeah.
I was just awakened to this system that some people are using called fast plotting. So when the greens aren't plotted, they plot the greens and then they plot the blues and then they go back in and fill in their blacks because they're not fast enough to be sure to get everything plotted in the morning.
Okay.
So at least that gives them like their
direction.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to do it that way. I used to do all the greens used to be on there for you.
Right.
And then I'd do all the blues first. And until I got better, Kaylee would plot all the black diamonds.
Oh,
She's
okay.
like, I don't trust you. Give me the ruler.
Yeah.
Because I've misplotted a few things.
Yeah.
But now I just do I do chronologically, but I do the X's only. And then if I have time, I'll go in and put the non-X's. Because if you're going to go, let's say 4 is a blue and 4X is a black diamond. If 4 is en route, I'll click it. Because if I can't find 4X, then I don't have to go back to get 4.
Right.
Yeah. If it's in line on the same road,
Yeah.
So I like to plot them if I can.
Yeah. I try to plot everything.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty successful at getting my day plotted. I don't struggle with speed too much. A little sometimes with accuracy here and there. um, so one thing I noticed this year is Emily seemed to put out a lot more fake blues.
Okay.
Did you guys?
I just don't know if they're fake or they're crossovers or they're group A, group B. So I just,
Mm,
yeah. Yeah, we did pass a lot of blues that weren't ours. We
yeah.
clicked several that weren't ours too. Day 2 was our let's click all the blues day. And then we're like, okay, stop that nonsense.
Yeah, stuff that I need to
Yeah.
really be paying attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, so once we figured out that there were a lot more blues than I was planning to see out there,
Hmm.
we come up to this one and I was like, it's not our distance. It's not
Yeah.
our blue.
Yeah.
It's not I don't think this is it.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it's on the right place on the map. Like it's not our
Hmm.
distance. I think we're going up this way. So we drove past it. We drove more than my distance and we saw nothing.
Yeah.
So we came back, we clicked it. And I was like, that wasn't it. Like that wasn't it. I was like, I don't know what happened,
Hmm.
but we didn't see the right one.
Yeah. So did you
So,
plot that one and then go find the right one?
well, I plotted that one, but because we had already been down the road, like I was like, I don't know. So we just kept driving again, and then so this time we're driving, and my driver goes, I just saw a blue pole. And we're still trucking. She's
Yeah.
like, what do we do? I'm like, stop, turn go. We have to go click it.
Yeah.
Make up
Get
some
our
of those
points back.
points. And she's
Yeah.
like, oh right.
I just thought that's
Yeah.
funny.
And we had driven right by it
Hmm.
when we went past and we're like
Hmm.
going to find it. And it was a pole versus a flag.
Yeah. It's funny.
Oh,
We try to treat every blue as if it's a black diamond.
yes.
So we like try not to. But you get in a rush and you're just like, just go till you find the pole. Sometimes you are short on time, and
Mm-hmm.
you're just like searching everywhere, like you're out there lost in the middle of this,
Yeah.
field, and instead of actually navigating and treating it like a black diamond. It happens.
It does. It really does.
Yeah.
Um, all right. What else? So coming into the rally, what was your experience prior? Like, were you off-roading? Were
Oh,
you ground tenting?
yeah. I lived in Moab. Rock crawling was like my passion of that little era. So
Mm-hmm.
I was out all the time, running all the trails. Grew up camping is second nature, normal to me. Like people are like, I've never camped. I'm like,
Yeah.
what? So yeah, I was considered myself a driver, and now it's fun to consider myself a navigator since it is a navigation rally. Um, but what was my question? I totally go now.
Your like background leading into the rally.
Oh, yeah. So I lived in Moab, and there was like, I was with my friend. My friend's name is Tara. So
Oh.
Tara and I were in Moab. It was Jeep Safari. We had our trucks and our buggies on the back. And some lady comes running up and is like, hey. And we thought she was going to yell at us because we were blocking the whole road over by the liquor store down. I don't know if you know that road in Moab.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, great. Someone's mad at us because our trailers are in the middle of the road. And she's like, we're doing this women's like meet and greet thing tonight. You should come like check it out. And, I kind of did this like, women's event thing, whatever, And then it was later that day and I was like, I'm going to just go down there. I'm going to go see, like, go say hi. I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't doing anything else. So I went down. Jessie Combs was there with her Goldie, and it was Charlene Bauer, and she was doing this like challenge of she was going to do 3 events in the year, and she was going to pick a co-dog to go with her and compete in those
Okay.
events. And so I entered and I went, and that's how I met Kaylee. And Kaylee ended up doing the Rebelle with Charlene the first year, and she called me from the finish line and was like, because we had hung out during this little challenge and
Mm-hmm.
became friends, and she's like, save your money, we're going next year. And I was like, I'm so proud of you. Okay, like I was all excited. So
Yeah.
that was kind of my intro into the rally, and I practiced with her. And then, as you know, all of a sudden you have this world that you are in and you don't want to leave, and you have all these friends,
Yeah.
and then you become a navigation map nerd, and it's great.
Yeah. So is it an addiction or is it just like the thrill of the chase? You can like when you cross the finish line and then you think about entering the next year,
Uh-huh.
is it I think I could do this, this, and this better? Or is it like I had so much fun, I just want to do it again? Like what keeps you coming back?
No, you cross the finish line and you're like, I'm not coming next year. I'm so tired. That was so hard. And then a few weeks later, you're like, but I miss my friends. Okay, yeah, well, what we maybe we should go back. So, I think it's the well, first of all, I'm competitive, so it's fun, like, you think, like, "Yeah, I wanna do a little better. I don't want anyone to go take my win away," like, you
Right?
kinda like, you the competition for sure, and then it's the group of people, like, how else would we have met all these friends we have? Like,
Yeah,
we don't
it's a great
yeah,
sisterhood.
yeah, and it's people from all over the country, all over the world, different backgrounds, and just a
The different backgrounds really it really, like I don't know if I wanna say impresses me, but
mhm,
it's very, like there's very few situations in the world where me, basically a housewife, I mean, I do realtor stuff, but basically, like, I raised kids for 2 decades,
mhm,
um, and I'm not career driven. I don't have a career that I'd identify with. I'm
mhm,
sitting at the same table with, rocket scientists
mhm,
and CEOs and Starbucks workers,
mhm,
and we're all respecting everybody's
mhm,
intelligence and knowledge.
mhm.
So to me,
You
that
gave me
is
the
I
chills.
know, right? It's like that doesn't happen
Yeah,
in the world. It
yeah,
really doesn't.
yeah, it's the I wanna say it's the game. I mean, it's above a level of a game. It's a serious professional event at this point,
Mm,
but it's like the game. We all wanna be part of it. No one
yeah.
wants left out. Once you go, you just wanna come back.
Yeah. Yeah, and the skill set is not it's not career driven.
Yeah.
So, and
Mhm,
I just think like that's an amazing thing.
mhm.
Um but and there's all different like it's expensive.
Yeah,
Let's just break that down.
yeah,
It's expensive.
yeah.
And for me like I'm married, so it takes a lot out of our group budget.
Mhm,
And so it's a real dedication and
mhm,
somebody told me the other day, they're like, "The Rebel, like, it makes you so competitive." And I was like, "It doesn't make me competitive. It gives me an avenue to
mhm.
to be the competitive self that I am."
Yeah,
Um, and so I don't know. It's just amazing. So on that, so you started as a privateer
yeah.
and now you've moved over to factory
Yes.
sponsorship. How
Yeah.
is how is that? Like what's the differences? Which do you like? I guess can't say what you like better, but
No, I can. No, yeah, we our first year we did a lot of fundraising. We worked really hard. I lived in Moab, and like the whole town supported us. We had Jeep
Mm,
rental companies giving us stuff like rentals to raffle and gear from like Grizzly coolers and ratchet straps and Factor 55 gear. I mean, I had like a laundry list of donations for us to raffle and raise money and
mhm,
um um a lot of them carried into the next year. Moab 4x4, which became Sand Hollow Off Road, they
mhm.
paid for our fuel the first few years. And so you kind of keep, like, some people keep helping you, which is so many people are supporting me to go be part of this, which is amazing.
Yeah,
And then I was lucky enough to do really well. That Nina invited me back with her, and she's had a 25-year relationship with Jeep. So
right.
she went with Dodge Ram, Dodge Ram Jeep, all same family.
Mhm.
So to get in with Jeep, it kind of took the stress off of how are we going to pay for this, who are we going to ask for money. Like Beatini has still helped us through every year
Oh, nice.
to get there, and it's like while you're so grateful, you almost feel bad of like asking. Like, I know I've gone the last 5 years, but can you help me again?
Yeah,
But it's good for them. It's hopefully a good relationship on both directions, but it's nice to have Jeep there to elevate us where we can now focus on the training and the practice and um, doing well instead of like, oh, well, how much is that going to cost? Can we afford that training too? Can we? And so that's
yeah,
made a huge difference in our focus.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, last year my funding came a little easier than the year before
Hmm.
and a little easier than this year, and yeah, it is different
Hmm.
when you don't have to really focus on that, the money portion, and you can really focus in on your training, but is it a different pressure? Like, okay, Jeep has like, they believe in me so much, they have put this much money on the line for me.
Hmm.
I mean, is that a different pressure? I mean, I know when you have little sponsors, like you still are beholden to them a little bit. Like you want to make them
Yeah.
proud and you want to use their products and their money to the
Hmm.
best of your abilities. But like now you have one sponsor really sort of kicking in the majority of it?
I guess it didn't really change my mindset. I don't know. I
Yeah,
still wanted to hustle just the same.
sure.
Um, I mean, obviously, I want to do well for them and represent them well and the vehicle
Mhm.
well, and uh, but the vehicle treats us just as well. So, like I said, it's still
Yeah,
like a equal. Yeah, I don't feel any more pressure.
yeah.
Maybe I should.
I don't think so. I mean, I think
Yeah,
if you're using other people's money responsibly, you know, it doesn't matter how much. Like, I wanna use $5 just as much as I wanna use
yeah,
$10,000. I wanna make those people proud.
yeah.
Um,
I'm gonna work equally as hard. So,
yeah.
mhm.
So does the pressure of knowing, like, I remember my first year, I click something and it's wrong, and I'm just like, "Oh," in my head, I know Rob is looking at the
Uh-huh.
screen and he's like, "Why did you click there?" You know, because they get the full view of what's
Uh-huh.
happening. Does that kind of pressure weigh on you that your family and your sponsors and your supporters are watching your little dot move around?
It pops in, like, there's definitely jokes in the car of, like, who saw that and who said what, like, "Oh, great," "Kaylee's watching us," the first year I went without her, and she's yelling or, Jeff's watching or yeah,
Yeah.
Scott, who helps us with Jeep, he follows along, and we laugh sometimes, and we're like, "They're so disappointed." "Yeah, we'll be fine,"
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. I like to come in at the end of the day and check my score, and I look at the score and I'm just like, "Oh, Rob's gonna think that's not good enough." Do you check your score at the end of the day? Or I know some people don't like to. They don't like
Uh-huh.
to check rankings.
So my problem is I'm so tired, I go to bed before the score's up,
Mm.
but then I gotta go to the bathroom at like 2, 3 in the morning. I sneak into the little tent with my little flashlight, and then I see the score, and then I lay there in my tent awake for the next 2 hours thinking about, like, "Oh, I should have looked at that team. Did they get that checkpoint yesterday? Or did I get more on that one? Oh, that team was like, 100 yards to our left. I wonder if they were closer or if I was closer." And like my brain just, and I'm awake
Yeah.
super early.
Yeah.
So I might as well stay up, see the score at bedtime, and sleep in the morning. But
Trade an hour at the beginning of the night for 2 hours at the end of the
yeah,
night.
feel a little more social instead of alone in
Mm,
the dark at
yeah.
3 a.m.
My brain is not that, like, you were like, "Oh, was that checkpoint 18?" I don't know. Like, my brain does not remember what checkpoint it was, where it was, what we did there,
Hmm.
like, what day was it on, where were we? Do you remember, like, every tiny detail, like, that was day 2, checkpoint 5, and we were
Most of them, no. The
mm,
ones that I had an issue with, or the ones that like we nailed, like almost pinpoint.
yeah,
Those are the only ones that can stand out. I couldn't tell you most. Like I know 18 or 19 because we didn't get points, and it's just
yeah,
now it's burned in my mind. Like why did it
yeah.
not click? Did it not go through? Was it the wrong flag? Was it supposed to be the other flag? Because there was lots of white flags. It was a precision
Right,
Jimmy
yeah,
challenge. So now I'm like, I don't know. And then I
yeah.
look, well, I know Lily and Alex clicked behind us at that same one. They got points. Did they have a different enduro than we did?
Mm,
And then and I'll never know because I didn't write it down.
yeah, yeah. Holly, I don't know her last name,
Uh-huh.
but she was at, Glamis for the 7 day,
Hmm.
and I was just, like, amazed. She has this ability to see every day and every checkpoint
Uh-huh.
that she's ever done on the rally.
She studies it. She gets out YB tracker and studies, and she replots, and she has it on Onyx. Like,
Mhm.
so
It is impressive.
yeah, she
It is
knows the ins and
impressive.
outs. Yeah.
She tried to talk to me about a few of them, and I was just like, "I don't know." She's like, "You don't remember day 3?" And I was like, "No. I mean, I know I survived it." Isn't like, that's what I'm going for, Holly. Like, I survived it,
Yeah.
and what was my end score?
Yeah.
That's it. Remembering all those details in the middle, no.
Yeah.
So let's talk about camp life. Do you and Nina share a tent?
We don't. No.
Why?
Um, I don't know. I always shared with Kaylee because then it was just one tent to pack. One person could be packing up camp while the other was in getting the maps and stuff
Mhm.
going. But Nina never did. So when I went with her, it was
She was like, "Here, you get your own tent."
she was just like she had her tent, I had my tent. I don't know. We just didn't really talk about it. Same with Melissa.
Yeah.
Um, I think it's nice to have a minute to yourself to like and you don't have to like, hold on, I'm changing, and
Yeah.
hold on, I'm taking a tent shower. Just give me a minute. So
Yeah.
it is nice to have that little bit of, you can just get in and relax and let everything out, just not have to be stuck with that person all day and all night kind of thing. But how
Yeah.
about you?
My first year, I was like, I need my own tent.
Yeah.
Um, so I had my own tent, and I liked it because, like you said, I would get
Yeah.
in there, I would lay down on my sleeping bag in the darkness of my tent and just sort of
Yeah.
decompress. And so last year, I was like, I need my own tent again. Told my driver, you get your own tent.
Yeah.
Well, then they take us to Mammoth, and it's like 14
Yeah.
degrees. And a friend from another team, she was like, do we need to cuddle for warmth? And I was like, I like my own tent. And then I thought about it and I was like, yes, we should probably
You're
cuddle
like
for
big spoon
warmth.
or little spoon?
So we used a system that actually worked pretty well
Uh-huh.
for the whole like changing or showering
Uh-huh.
thing. So she moved her bedding into my tent and we moved all of our gear into her tent.
Oh.
So we called my tent the house and her
Oh,
tent
so
the
you still get 2
garage.
tents.
So we still had 2 tents, but we
Interesting.
slept in one and we kept our junk in the other because
Interesting.
she had obviously brought her own tent. We
Uh-huh.
didn't intend to share. She
Yeah.
wasn't even on my team, which I think was kind of nice too because she was from a different
You
team.
shared a tent with someone not from your team?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
so we've had this, okay, I didn't know you did that.
Mhm.
We've had this idea, what if we brought, like, a 12-man tent
Yeah.
and, like, had a party tent for everybody all the time, and then it was just, like, a couple people could tackle it, like, to
Mhm.
get it to the next spot, but we're like, "It'd be too distracting." Everyone would wanna chat. You can't go, like, zip yourself out and
Yeah.
yeah, so
12 people is too many.
but it'd be kinda fun.
What we found is like I've been with Rob more years than I haven't been with
Yeah,
Rob. Like we started dating when I was in high school
yeah,
and got married a few years after. Um So Liz sort of not replaced Rob, but at the end of the day, she was in the tent and I was in the tent and it was dark and we were just laying in our sleeping bags, head on the pillows, just reminiscing about the
yeah.
day
Like,
or
"How'd you guys do?" Yeah.
yeah. So just somebody to sort of like bounce ideas off of. And then instead
Interesting.
usually when I'm in bed with Rob and I'm getting ready to go to bed, go to sleep way before he does.
Uh-huh.
Like I'm a professional sleeper. I'm like, good night, and I go to
Out.
sleep, right? So I lean over, I give him a kiss, and I'm like, okay,
Uh-huh.
good night. I'm going to
Uh-huh.
bed, and I'm out. So with Liz, I was like, okay, good night. I appreciate you. And she was like, I appreciate you. And then we were just like, boom, out.
That's funny. It'd be
Yeah.
nice to have someone else, like, that makes sense, like, not your teammate, just someone else to, like, "How was your day?" And some
Yeah.
because you already talked to your person all day, your
Yeah.
teammate, so
So it was nice just to have a little moment of like quiet conversation, like you would do with your
Yeah,
boyfriend or your husband at the end
yeah.
of the day. Um, Obviously not a replacement, but
Yeah, yeah.
it was kind of nice.
That's
I was
funny.
surprised.
I had no
So
idea.
yeah. Like what tips and tricks do you have for just surviving base camp? Because you're not sleeping like you're normally sleeping.
Uh-huh.
It's different food.
Number 1, bring a big, fluffy, good pillow that you always sleep with. Bring the pillow off of your bed.
I bring two.
Everyone's like bringing their little camp pillow that's this big and they're so uncomfortable. Like if you can't fit a pillow in your car, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Because we did have a TJ and we couldn't hardly fit anything. But that makes the biggest difference. If I have like a pillow I'm not used to, I don't sleep nearly as well. Um, what else for camp? Uh, I go to bed early. I eat and I go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I used to joke that it was my, I have alcohol sponsored Butini. Like
Yeah.
my secret is I get everyone else drunk and then I go to bed. So get your sleep. Um, camp tricks. I don't know. I always, the night before I get my clothes that I'm going to put on in the morning, and I set them like on top on my bag on the side because I don't have a fancy garage.
Mm.
And so it's just ready. I can just wake up. I don't have to like be loud and be undoing my zipper and unpacking stuff and finding stuff. So I can try to be quiet and sneak out and get in the bathroom, get
Mhm.
in get in on time. So
Yeah. The bathroom. I wear contacts, so I have to get into, like, the
mm,
shower bathroom,
hmm
so there's a mirror
yeah.
there to put them in, and that's the worst for me.
If I wake up at like 2, 3 in the morning to go to the bathroom,
Mhm.
I just take my bath stuff and I brush my teeth then. because I'm like, well, I'm gonna lay awake, and then I don't have to wait in the line. So
Yeah.
could do that.
There's always a line when I get there.
Mhm.
And I'm just never first in line. And it's not usually bad, but Mammoth this year was so cold.
Oh, so cold.
Was it the coldest ever?
Yeah, it was cold.
Yeah.
There was another really cold year. So I think it might have been my first or second year.
Mm,
Oh, so cold.
it was cold. All right. Before we go, I have a fun game that I like to call Fast Money. There's
Okay.
no money involved.
Okay.
I'm going to set a timer for 1 minute and I'm going to ask you 11 questions.
Okay.
Your
Are they
goal.
one-word answers?
Yes.
Okay.
Some of them are multiple choice. I always forget to set my timer before I start this. Okay. Here we go. Are you ready?
Okay.
Are you ready for the challenge?
Yes.
No pressure, no pressure.
Okay.
No money, no pressure.
All right.
Okay, here we go. Favorite car you've ever owned?
FJ40.
Favorite state you've ever visited?
Hawaii.
Okay. Desert or mountains?
Desert.
Oceans or lakes?
Ocean.
Ground tent or rooftop tent?
Ground.
How many pairs of Vans do you own?
0.
Baseball caps, flat bill or rounded?
Rounded.
Luxury canned food or will keep you alive?
Either.
Coffee?
None.
Oh. Drive or navigate?
Both.
Pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
Okay. Oh, you're good. You have over 20 seconds left. All right. Nice job.
Thank you.
All right. Well, did you have any closing comments? Anything you want to put out there to anybody listening that's hoping to dig into your brain and get all of your deep secrets?
No.
No.
I don't. Not very witty. Sorry, everyone.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming. It was fun to have you in studio.
Should we go ride bikes?
Yes, we're going to go hit the trails on our mountain bikes.
Yeah.
Try not to get hurt.
Yeah. Knock on wood.
All right. Thanks
Okay.
so much.
Thank